Board Games follows the entrepreneur Marcus Dreer and his determination to accomplish his goals by any means necessary, even if it plummets him down a deadly hole of no return. For all of my book lovers out there, Board Games is a simmering drama that boils into a gripping conclusion, and you can find Board Games 1 and 2 now on Amazon. It'll be the perfect read this holiday season, and it's written by yours truly, so you won't be disappointed. You are now tuned into the SoCHiology podcast. SoCHiology is a lifestyle brand emphasizing Chicago culture, experiences, and stories, and connected topics abroad. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, from the hearts and minds of Chicagoans themselves. With the third pick of the 1984 NBA draft, the Chicago Bulls selected Michael Jordan. Nike bet the house on him, and the rest was history. The shoe game was forever changed. Year after year, the world was getting hit with a shoe that they had never seen before and with another iconic image of Michael Jordan playing in them, which made people want to wear them. In the mid-90s, while Jordan was winning his second three-peat with the Bulls, he was also creating another three-peat off the court, because the Jordan 11s, 12s, and 13s are arguably the greatest trilogy out of the entire Jordan sneaker series. Now, I'm not a sneakerhead. I don't know much about Jordans. I only had a few pair in my life, but I assembled a Jordan sneakers super team, or the Jordan Avengers. 3 Chicagoans who are also 3 WIU graduates, shout out to the Leathernecks. They're going to give their analysis, their opinions on what they feel and what they like about the Jordan 11s, 12s, and 13s, and are they really the best trio out of the entire Jordan line? So in the name of the Concords, the Flu Games, and the Obsidians, let's get right into it on this episode of SoCHiology. All right, so cool. First question is, what y'all think about Space Jam 2?
I ain't even seen it yet.
Still ain't seen it?
Nah, I heard bad reviews on it, so I was like, I ain't even trying to watch that. So I kind of stayed away from it. Look, I plan on trying to watch it in a little bit, but I ain't really been rushing to see it.
I definitely it. And I attempted to watch it, but it watched more of me than I watched of it. I just put it down.
Damn.
Yeah.
I watched it. I mean, pretty much it ties into today's technology with these kids and these,
right.
It's very tech, it's a techie ass movie.
Right.
I won't watch it again.
You say you wouldn't?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
My takeaway of it, and I tried to tell my guys, and I guess I can share this with y'all, was it was made for today's generation. And guess
exactly.
what? We aren't part of that generation. So for us to judge their movie, it's almost like what our parents did to us back in the day.
Hell yeah, we the old grumpy generation now. Mad as hell. I mean, yeah, I saw it, and I echo y'all's sentiments. It basically was just like y'all said, for the modern, 21st century type shit. I like how they tied in, the digital, all that. But I'm gonna say this though, and I've been saying it since I saw it. LeBron needed the Looney Tunes, but the Looney Tunes needed Mike. All right, the Looney Tunes needed Mike. That's just fact. That's just facts. They needed Mike, but they wasn't checking for Bron. Bron was checking for them. Yeah. He ain't nobody want to play with this man. So with that being said, y'all remember what was the first time y'all saw Space Jam? The first, the original. Y'all remember?
Can I go first?
Yeah. Oldest first.
Damn, I'm the oldest. Hey, look, check this out. I will never forget it. Y'all remember back in the day when you bought the VHS tape, it came in that big ass plastic thing, like the Disney movie. That big.
Yeah, it was hard to get that motherfucker open.
Yeah.
We was at I believe it was Value City Adventures, wherever it was down on.
Damn.
Yeah, I might have been Value City or something like that, but then we went to Kmart, and I remember begging my mom for that Space Jam movie. I got the Space Jam movie, and it came with a little commemorative coin inside of that boy.
I think I remember that.
Got home, rushed home, and put that boy in the VCR so I can watch Space Jam for the first time ever. And I never, ever forget that feeling that you got, because all the other kids got to go to the show and see it. And I tried to lie and say I went to the show. And then one of my buddies hit me with the question, so where did Michael Jordan dunk from to win the game?
Damn. Caught you up in a lie, huh? It was fucked up.
Yeah, he caught me in my lie because I said the free throw line like a motherfucker. But you know.
Well, I mean, it could have been the other free throw line. No, technically, yeah. He caught you.
He caught me.
He caught you up.
But yeah, first time I watched it was definitely on VHS in my crib after begging for that movie. 100%.
What about you, Jordan?
It was actually at school.
Okay.
Yeah, never went to the movies to see it. One of my teachers, it was like our little Friday treat.
Right. Life was good.
But yeah.
You walked into the classroom, saw that motherfucking TV just sitting there in the middle of the
hell yeah.
Be happy as hell.
The TV they roll in, huh?
Hell yeah. Be happy as hell.
About to be a great fucking day.
You saw it at the movies, Greg?
Man, I remember going to see it at the movies. I believe I went with my father when I saw Space Jam. So I was kind of like one of the lucky kids. I actually got to go to the show and see it. I just remember being real hyped, you know, just to see it because it had Michael Jordan and, you know, Looney Tunes in there. So I was real hyped. But I do remember when it came out on VHS with that coin. So I remember that coin that you're talking about. Like, I don't know, it just clicked in my head. So I remember getting that coin because I bought it on VHS too. Well, I didn't buy it, my parents bought it.
Right.
But I do remember that. I remember that whole movie. And I always remember the R. Kelly, you know, I Believe I Can Fly too. I mean, I know we don't talk about that now, but I do recall that vividly, like all that, the R. Kelly and just the whole movie itself. And it was a fun time though.
Hey, they played that I Believe I Can Fly at every kindergarten, third grade graduation, 8th grade graduation. Like this was the theme song for graduation.
At PAC, that was like part of a performance.
Dude, everywhere, on everything, at church. They was doing at church.
Oh my God, yeah.
Graduations. That was like the graduation song.
That was like the theme song for the 90s, low key. I don't remember where I saw Space Jam. I can't even tell you, honestly. I just remember I saw it so many times, but I can't remember the first time I saw it. I know it wasn't at the movies, though. I know that for a fact. But yeah, like I just don't remember. But with that being said, though, you know, Mike's is the most popular shoe in the world. Would y'all agree with that? I mean,
by far.
Yeah, by far the most popular shoe in the world. And then, you know, some of the most popular J's, you know, I haven't owned that many pair of Jordans personally, but that's why I assembled you three, because y'all are like the Jordans Avengers. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, the Space Jams is like one of the most popular Jordans of all time. So like, let's just start the conversation there. Like, and y'all, whoever could jump in, y'all can jump in and go first. But like, what made the Space Jams what they are? You know what I'm saying? Was it the movie? Was it the actual games that Mike wore them in? Like, let's just run with it.
The movie set it off, no doubt. So seeing it in the movie just kind of like open your eyes to it, and you watch that movie and you see him in on shoes, and you're like, man, you know, as a kid, like, man, can I jump like that? If I get these shoes, can I fly like that? Like, will I be like the popular kid if I had these shoes? You know what I'm saying? So like that movie kind of set it off. Then watching the games after that, then you just start paying more attention. You're like, oh man, his shoes is off the chain. Like everything he wear is just clean. So I think the movie kind of set the scene off for me.
Yeah. So for me, you know what it really was? It was the first time in my life that I vividly remember what we call today a PE. And the PE is like a player exclusive shoe. So
I thought you was talking about physical education, boy. I'm like, what?
Low-key.
Twiz, you funny as hell, man. But no, it was a PE. So back in the day, whenever people would wear shoes or whatever, it was always a colorway that you could find at the mall or you could eventually get. But I remember vividly in Space Jam, they panned down to this man's feet, and he had on some 11s of an all black and whitish, bluish, ice blue bottom 11. And I was like, where is that shoe at? And that shoe was nowhere to be found. And I don't care what anyone says, with me being a little bit of a nerd about these shoes, and I can tell you the original release date they say they came out but that shoe was nowhere to be found, and that was like my very first memory. They had them beforehand, of course, but that was my very first memory of like a PE shoe that you couldn't go to the store and get after you saw it on somebody's feet.
So who has those shoes? Like, just you think rich motherfuckers or like?
No, nobody.
Nobody. Okay.
The shoe didn't actually release until 2000, and the movie was from like 1994, 1995.
Right.
And guess what? I still question that 2000 release date because you have different types of releases. A GR is like a general release. It's like a massive release that release to all the big stores and things like that. I believe
it was a GR though.
It was?
Yeah, I had them. I had them in 7th grade, and I got them in 2008.
And we talk about the Space Jams, the original.
Yeah, they released 3 times.
Okay.
And I got
2000, 2008, and 2016.
You better know these dates.
Okay.
I definitely I got the 08s and the 16s on the floor right now, and I'll put them on camera in a minute. But so you're saying that those Space Jams came out the same year the first Cool Grays came out then, right?
Yep. I was in 7th grade at the time.
And I was in 8th grade. And I never remember seeing anyone in those Space Jams. I promise you. For the life of me, I kept saying, and because when you said that 2000 date, I was like, yep, that's the date that I keep seeing. But I remember seeing the Cool Grays, but I never saw them Space Jams.
Yeah, that's a fact. I
never saw the Space Jam.
I got my 2008s. I wore them one time. They pretty much still on ice. The bottom is turning a little bit yellow, but they flawless.
I'll show you some 2008s that has been worn. But this box right here,
those are 45. The 45s. I sold those.
These ain't the 45s.
Those are 08, 09s.
Yep. And these have never ever even came out the box.
Really? Yeah, I still got I still got mine too.
Yep. So I can I'm gonna open it up because like you said, so here, I mean my man's a know that's how
I'm gonna open up mine too.
So there it is.
Okay.
This box is hell getting open.
Boy, your closet look like mine right now, boy.
That's how pissy those shoes, those soles get after you ain't worn them.
Okay, so we're looking at a blue and white sole on the bottom of the shoe. We got the white, curvy look, you dig, whatever the fuck that's called. Then we got the all black design, you know what I'm saying, with the blue Jordan logo.
And on the back, what he was referencing to was that number back there. And as you can see, they ain't never been unlaced, they never been touched. But when this shoe came out, Twiz, foot action and marking. Remember that?
I do. I remember.
I went up there and I bought 6 pair of shoes. And I was able to sell 3. And I basically had mine for free. And these are a pair that I never wore. I wore the other 2, but I just ain't never wore these.
And
I still got my receipt.
The ones we're looking at right now, what year is these?
This came
2008,
09. You know what? I really want to say these came out in 2009, December of 2009, only because it was after I graduated college and I grabbed
December 23rd.
2009, right?
My receipt faded. December 23rd, yeah.
December 23rd, 2009. Okay, and that's when this version of the Space Jams came out.
That's for the second time.
For the second time. And the reason why I was able to cop these, check this out. I actually had a credit card, bought all 6 pair, sold 3 of them.
Oh, you was out here hustling.
Yep. And that's why I say they ain't never been unlaced or anything. So
have you worn them at all? You ain't worn them at all?
I've worn Space Jams, but not this particular pair because I had 2 other pair. I just always kept these on ice.
Right. Just for the big.
I feel that.
Okay, so my question is, what's the difference between the 08 Space Jams versus the 2000 Space Jams?
That.
Yeah, that's a 2016.
Correct.
Okay.
And you can see the higher cut patent leather, the white around the top of there. If I pick this up and put them side by side, you can see a bit of the difference. People also don't notice that.
Hold it there. Let me take a picture.
In
On
that
top, we got the 08.
Yep.
Okay, so the difference that for those who ain't watching, for those who can't see, the difference is the 2016s have the 45 on the back. Okay, the 08s have the 23. That's one of the biggest differences, and there are other small design differences that
it's also a difference on the tongue as well, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if it's on here. On one of these tongues, it should say. I don't think it does. So it ain't no difference on the tongue. It's just
no.
The 16 is a higher cut patent leather, and folks don't even know that the 16 also had the ice blue sole, whereas originally the 08 just had a regular clear sole, which is turned yellow, whereas the 16 got that ice blue, which is, I just started pulling out 11s. It's more so that sole right there.
Okay, that's that.
But,
okay,
yeah. But your man's is on point about that. I really always heard that 2000 release thing, but I didn't have the means to get it, but it was always like I never saw them.
And Jordan, you had the 2000 version, right?
Not no more. I was in 8th grade in 2000.
Okay. Yeah, you can't fit
hell no. I was wearing like a size 8 back then.
Yeah, you was wearing my size, boy. What time about? You wearing my size.
The motherfucker's long gone.
Okay, all right. So and Greg, do you have a pair of Space Jams or not?
I have not had Space Jam since I was a youngin'. So it's been a while since I had some Space Jam.
Yeah, you ain't got them currently. Yeah, like you ain't got them in the vault.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I got other 11s, but I ain't got no Space Jams. I ain't grabbed none of those yet.
You know, Mike wore the Space Jams in the '95 playoff series against the Magic, and they fucking lost.
Yeah. And he wore Penny Hardaway's that season too.
Sure did. Because the colorway didn't fit the standards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So now let's transition real quick to the flu games, right? So wait. Before we get there, let's back up a little bit. The Cool Grays just came out recently, right? Y'all talked about the Cool Grays. That's another version of the Jordan 11s, right? You know what I'm saying? How many times has the Cool Grays come out?
Twice.
2000. Yeah, twice. No, 3 times. This is the 3rd time.
Three times. Yeah, you're right.
2000, 2010, and last week.
Yep. And I got a funny backstory about that. I remember the first time those came out in 2000 because I wanted them so bad and tried to ditch school, but couldn't actually get there to get them. Damn. The ones that came out in 2010, the year after the Space Jams, I waited in line, Twiz, at Lincoln Mall, and I was able to get in the back way.
R.I.P. to Lincoln Mall.
R.I.P.
At 7 a.m. from Foot Locker and bought 3 pair. My last pair, my car was actually broken into and stolen. I got the box in my closet. I don't want to feel like digging it out. And the pair that just came out this past weekend, I was so pissed off at my last pair being stolen. I just said F it and didn't even grab them. But just in commemoration, I made sure, of course, I grabbed the lows, but it ain't the same.
Yeah, it don't even look the same, honestly. Like it don't even
look, it does.
You know, it just looked like
these just
are y'all gonna grab the new ones though that just came out?
These are 2010s. Just some, I mean,
you got
throwaways now. Yeah. Lucky, man. I mean, I had a few connects, man. I worked at Finish Line and one of my homies worked at Nike. So and I had the Nike employee website did like discount was like 40% off. So
yes,
I didn't miss out on shit.
And look, you cheating yourself because I believe that discount was like 45%. And what he is saying is 100% true. You go to the Nike website and you log in with the employee
swoosh.
And you straight in there.
Yeah.
Here go a question for y'all. Do y'all think it's easier now to get Jordans now compared to before?
Nah.
No. Hell no. The only way it's easier, I was just talking to Twiz about this via text, is if they actually take away these bots, because back in the day, it was more so along the lines, who gonna wait out the longest, or who do you know that's gonna hold on something for you? Today, I could get whatever shoe I want, but I would be paying a premium way over box price. Those
resale is crazy.
I could have got them last month but I would have been paying. I want to say he asked for $380, and for me, I'm just not into paying more than retail for shoes at this point in my life.
Grown ass man now.
It just everything over retail value, because you know, honestly, every time I buy some Jordans, I'm getting them over retail value. Because I mean, I can't catch them for retail value anymore. So it's just kind of like, how bad do I want the shoe?
Go stop, something like that. That's what you be using.
Yeah, GOAT. Yeah, I use a GOAT. Yeah, I use a GOAT. I still be kind of sad when I be buying over retail. I mean,
so if I and excuse this, while I was just trying to get everything out and together, I was really just trying to pull out all the 11s because that's where my heart lies. But I will never ever purchase a shoe that I don't like or love. And
I agree with 11s I got up here.
Yeah, a sneakerhead to me is a person that is really into shoes and will buy it just because it's available in there, because they want to be able to say that they own or have the shoe. I won't purchase anything that I'm not willing to put on my feet and wear outside.
It's a waste of money, man.
I mean, I got some 11s. I mean, these are retros, those Jubilees.
Yep.
I got 2 of them. Then I got those Lowe's 11s. You know, those white joints.
Yeah.
I mean, I do the 11s go though. I mean, at the end
you
of
got
the day,
these right here. You talking about? Let's see, not those. These are a pair of shoes that I paid way over retail, and that's because when I saw Joe Johnson wear these against the Bulls, I said I gotta have.
Ooh, them clean. I mean, you can't go wrong with the breads too.
Yep.
Oh, that's
nice.
nice.
You can't go wrong with the breads though.
Nah, you can't. And look, just because you look at this. What is that?
Yeah,
I like them.
So you like the low tops, I see, Corey. You like low tops.
I was just an 11 head, so I literally have everything that you could possibly think of when it comes to 11, from highs to lows to every single thing you could think of. I can pull 11s out for days.
Since we on 11s, because before we move on to the 12s, aka the flu games, how many versions of the 11s are there, and where do the Space Jams rank amongst 11? So y'all gonna go individually. Jordan, let's start with you.
I mean, it's just a black shoe to me. I mean, I love the shoe, but where my heart is the Concord, the one I wore in my wedding.
Original. It's the first.
They just pop with everything. It's just it's a shoe you can literally wear with a tuxedo. So that's my love for it.
Which is
yeah.
And when did the Concords when were they originally released?
Originally 90. It was the first half of the 72 and 10 season.
96.
Almost positive. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you know in the playoffs they wear black. They black shoes, black socks.
Right. Okay. Okay. All right. So that's your favorite, the Concords. So Space Jams wouldn't be the favorites. They'll be like what, number 2 or something?
Probably Breads and Space Jam. Then Space Jam.
Okay. All right. G Harris, you can go next.
I would say the Breads. They my favorite one. Anytime I see them or see Last Dance, when he had them on, they're showing them hooping in them. Man, those always my favorite Jordans out of all of them. I mean, as far as with the 11s for sure. I mean, Jordan 1s, you can't really beat the Jordan 1s. They're so comfortable, but as far as 11s, it's the Breads all day long.
Okay.
And how many times they been released? About 3-4 times? Nah.
I got them from the pack. They've been coming out a lot throughout the years, throughout the past 20 years.
All right, Corey. What does the 11s rank amongst in your heart?
So the easy answer for me, the number one 11 is the Space Jam to me, but it's also a very, very close number 2. And your man Jordan, I want y'all to peep something. It was a time before Jordan started costing more than $200.
Yeah,
this was that time. I'm not sure if you can see that price tag, but that's say 175.
175.
with the special edition box and everything. So that's a 175 on there. But honestly, like no BS, one of the most beautiful shoes I ever seen, and I'll never forget it. Carmelo Anthony was in a blue suit with like a fedora hat on, and he had these red 11s, patent leather 11s, and I'm like, them shits is cold. And this was like 3 years before they released, and it was no way in hell that I wasn't gonna get my hands on them red patent leather 11s. And this is one of my favorite 11s.
He's holding up. So describe it to us right now. So for those who can't see.
Clear sole, white bottom, red patent leather, red upper, red shoestrings with a black Jordan. 2-3 on the back as well. There's no way that I could, and honestly, I've only worn these shoes like 2 times just because I love them that much. And this is another shoe where I copped 3 pair, sold 2, made some money, and basically got mine for free. But there's no way that I cannot add this to the list because this colorway is just.
It's the laces, man. It's the laces.
Man,
it's hard. I ain't gonna lie.
Fire. Fire.
I ain't gonna lie.
I can't get away from it. But when it comes down to these 2 right here, can't beat them.
It's the red, and red is everything.
Yeah, and I respect your man Jordan for picking the Concords because they did set it off. When those Jordan 11s first came out, it was just like, oh my goodness. And I got one more very quick story for you. When those Jordan 11s first came out, my brother got the Concords, and me and my sister got the Grant Hill Felines with the patent leather that went around.
Yep, same era. I remember those.
Yep. See,
and Jordan,
I think everybody has the Felines.
Because not me. You back, right?
No, I never had no felines, but I definitely, it was the same time. It was the same time frame.
Yeah. 100%. And I look back and it's like, man, I was on the wrong side of history. But
shit, Grant Hill was a shit too, though.
Yes, he was. I actually ended up getting multiple colorways of that same shoe. I went from the black and patent leather, and then he came out with a blue and suede version of that same shoe as well. So I just was on the wrong side of history, man. If Grant Hill hadn't went down with them injuries, maybe Feli would be more than, down south what rappers wear down there,
Damn.
Taylor. If you rock a Feli, you ain't got on those bow straps, you doing something wrong.
Okay. So, the Jordan 11s hit the world in 96, right? Period. That's when the Jordan 11s debuted. Concord, Space Jam, don't matter. After that, we had the Jordan 12s. The flu games. Mike holding Pippen holding Mike. You know what I'm saying? If you watch The Last Dance, you can call it the pizza game now, but the tummy ache game. But it just ain't got the same ring to it, right? Let's talk about the Jordan 12s and the flu games. What was your initial reaction when y'all first saw them?
Let me go first.
I had to have them.
I want people that's going to appreciate it to go last. Because for me, the Jordan 12 is one of the most overhyped shoes due to a moment in a game. Because no one cared about Jordan fucking 12s. Really, the game is what makes that shoe. Without that game, no one talks about the Jordan 12. The taxis came out first. Everybody knows that being a Jordan head or just knowing a little bit about Jordans, the very first colorway that always came out was a black and white colorway. When those taxis came out, there was black and white. Nobody really cared too much. People rushed and got them, but then the red and whites came next. And I believe the after the red and whites, it was the black and white and like the opposite type of shape.
No, they did the Obsidians.
The blues?
The blue.
Blue and
white? Yeah.
Okay. So, and that's the normal way, because even when you look at 13s or things like that, it go black and white, then the red and white, then the goddamn cool gray 13s. But that's neither here nor there. I believe that the Jordan 12 is one of the most overrated shoes only because Michael Jordan made that moment that we see now and what we call the flu games. Think about it. These shoes are named after a performance that Michael Jordan had in the game, and that's the true significance of that shoe.
And look, I'm before Jordan and Greg go, I'm gonna say, just as a side note, like, don't that just kind of like adds to the testament of his greatness, though? Because have we ever seen a shoe literally named after a moment by any athlete?
Okay,
I'm asking
I got
y'all.
one for you, Quiz. Check this out. When he hit that shot over Craig Elo, right? Free throw line.
Hey, Elo was depressed in a motherfucker after that.
What shoe did he have on?
Sad as fuck.
But
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. You gotta ask them that. I don't know.
Quiz, I don't know either. Because the moment is so great that the shoe doesn't matter.
Right.
That's my point. He made the shoe. Nobody would have remembered what fucking shoe he had on in that game.
I'm gonna go Google that shit now. Like, what was he wearing?
Yeah, it was a Jordan, and I believe it could have been a.
Was this a two? I want to say threes.
Three.
He had the Jordan 3s on, huh?
Honestly, I can't. I don't know, but the moment is what truly makes that shoe what it is today.
You talk about the flu games, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Whereas the 11 stands alone because when it came out, it's like the entire world paused. Like, you have patent leather on a shoe. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you this much: if you ever go into a gym and you see somebody hooping in 11s, the first thought in your head is they must be cold.
Yeah. Man, yeah, you're right. Because who the hell were hooping now?
That's my point. Whereas you see somebody hooping in some 12s, it's like that's a good, durable, beat up hoop shoe that you could fight through. Man, you hooping some 12, you hooping some 11s. After the first game, them joints is dead. The patent leather is creased up, nasty looking, and the 12s is just so overrated. But like I said, I wanted to shit on it first and let these guys show some appreciation because that's just my opinion.
Okay, all right. Who next?
I'll go.
I go ahead. Here you go.
I love the
You go ahead,
taxi. I love the Jordan taxi, but the actual like black and red color, the flu game, I don't think I've ever owned it. It was never a shoe that really struck my attention. But I just love the taxi, man. I don't know if y'all ever seen the episode when Martin, when he gave his shorty his shoes, when they was calling him a Scrooge and shit. That was that was one of those moments. I'm like, damn, like I gotta have those, and I got them. I still got them from the pack, but I rarely wear them. So a pack it was 11 and 12
DMP?
pack. No, countdown.
The countdown?
Not the DMP. DMP came with the 6 and the 11.
I don't know what the hell y'all talking about, but this sounds interesting as fuck.
DMP the DMP is defining moments, and like he said, it was 11 and a 6, and the countdown was basically each shoe that
was a bread,
to make 23.
Okay.
So it was an 11 and a 12.
Yep. So before you go, Greg, this is all. Let me say this. I'm gonna keep shitting on the 12 just because I
see it coming.
Yeah, like you can see it on his face. He got that sneaky face. You know what I'm saying?
You got the 11 right here and the 13 right here and a 12 in between. So imagine to be a shoe sandwiched in between two iconic models. It's like that's a tough position to be in. Very, very tough position to be in. But as I said, some people love it, and it's just a matter of opinion, and that's great. But woo, I owned one pair of 12s, and when they got stolen, I wasn't even upset.
Damn, hold on, look. You getting your car broke into, motherfuckers still in jail. Like what's going on out in Markham? Was you in Markham?
It's rough out there.
It is.
I was actually in the city in Bronzeville when they so-called claimed that it was coming up. And
hell nah, that shit's still Bronzeville. Fuck that up.
I used to coach, so I used to have a lot of shoes in the car or whatever. Yeah. And all of those shoes got stolen at the same time. I came back to the car, back window busted out, trunk wide open, shoes gone.
Yeah.
And I wasn't mad about, I was only mad about one pair of shoes, and I had a pair of court dunks in there too, but I was only mad about my cool grades.
Greg, you ever owned a pair of flu games?
Yeah, I did actually. Now my dad bought those for me when they first came out, and I was hype as hell. So it's like a twofold, because I kind of vibe with what Corey's saying. So back then when it first came out, I was super hyped for them. I really wanted them, loved them, wore them to school, hooped in them, ran them in the ground, did whatever to them. Right. Now when I look back at those Jordans nowadays, I don't like that 12 no more, that flu game. I only kind of roll with the he got games, if anything, but those 12 flu games, I don't really vibe with them too heavy at all. So those not really my favorite Jordan.
It's kind of going along with what Corey said. It's like the 97 finals is really what made it pop. You know what I'm saying? It's really what made people want them, because it's like, damn, if Jordan can drop 40 with the flu, aka the tummy ache, in these, shit, maybe I want them too. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe that's literally like, it's like the flu games should be fortunate that Mike was sick.
100% agree with you, Twiz. And if people start calling them motherfuckers the tummy aches, I don't know how many people really want them. You know what I'm saying? But that is 100% the case where Jordan's performance actually sold that shoe much later. Because I remember when they came out, like, it wasn't a shoe. People, of course, went and got them because that was a time where you want every single colorway that came out, you want to go and get them. But those shoes was still on the shelves for a little bit. You could go in there and get them here and there, but it wasn't no shoe that just like instantly jumped off the shelves. But now looking back, everyone ties that shoe to a performance, and that's what makes it so great, in my opinion.
Got it. Okay, so let's go. Okay, well, before we move on, favorite version of the Jordan 12s. I feel like Jordan said the taxis for him. That's the black and white, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
With the gold accent.
Okay. So your favorite is the Obsidian. That's your favorite Jordan 12. And Corey.
I actually like it's a Jordan 12 that retro. It came in a white and gray colorway, and it had the baby bluish Jumpman sign on there.
Mm-hmm. All right. And the flu games are dumpster juice, in your opinion?
You said they what?
They dumpster juice. The flu games are dumpster juice.
Look, I ain't gonna go that far to say they dumpster juice because they not that bad, but it's just a really, really overrated shoe itself.
I got
so
you.
If I had to pick a Jordan that was dumpster juice, it would be more so along the lines of, let's say, like a 15 or something like that.
We're gonna get there. All right, so y'all hinted on the 13s. That he got games. Let's talk about the 13s real quick, because the Jordan 12s were in the unfortunate position of being in between the 11s and the 13s. So the 13s. When's the first time y'all saw them? When did they drop originally?
Can I go first here, please?
Yeah, elders first.
I remember the 13s for the commercial itself, when Michael Jordan was sitting down and then he had to run around the city of Chicago and jumped over the damn bridge in them 13. And it was a black and white He Got Game. Well, they call him He Got Games now because of the movie, when Jesus Shuttlesworth daddy Denzel Washington with the all-time ugly jump shot. I've never seen shot ugly.
That shit was ugly, but he was hitting that shit though. He was hitting that shit. He was hitting that shit.
He was old as fuck.
Twiz, you know the story behind that shit?
What?
So Spike Lee was shooting that movie and Ray Allen was just supposed to kill his pops. Mm-hmm. But Denzel Washington gets to dribbling and doing something, and he shoot that ugly ass jumper backboard, and it goes in. And Spike Lee said, "I'm gonna keep that in the movie."
Hey, hey, and the ball he was shooting with when he was in prison in the first in the opening scene, that ball was worn the fuck out. Man, all the goddamn skin was off that.
Peep in that opening scene. Every time he shoot, they cut away and they start looking at the path of the ball, because he wasn't hitting shit with that ugly ass floor.
He ain't give a fuck.
Oh my god. Hey, since we on He Got Game real quick, low key, that's my favorite Spike Lee joint. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Better than Malcolm X?
My personal favorite, yeah. I don't think it was a better film, but it was my personal favorite. You know what I'm saying?
I respect it. Yeah. I respect it because He Got Game is a classic that again ties another mic into it. And check this out. That shoe is so excellent that it's not even tied to something that Michael Jordan did. That's how I look. Even when you look at some of these other shoes, and when you want to truly look at the value of a shoe, you actually look at it and say, hey, is this tied to a performance that Michael Jordan had? And some of the all-time best Jordans have zero connection to an actual moment that Michael Jordan had a performance in besides the flu games.
That's interesting analysis. That's an interesting analysis right there.
Yep.
All right. So what about you, Greg? When's the first time you saw the 13s? And was the He Got Games the first pair you got of the 13s?
Yeah, that was the first one I got of the 13s, the He Got Games. I tend to think it was actually when the movie came out. So actually, I can't even remember that far back, but I think it was when the movie came out was when I first saw the He Got Games. And it was just so iconic through the movie, just seeing Ray Allen, Jesus Shuttlesworth in them. And it was a cold shoe to me. It's still a cold shoe to me. I love that shoe to this day.
Yeah, like the design, like I don't know how would you describe that design, but it's beautiful. It's fucking beautiful. What about you, Jordan?
It was the same commercial that Corey talking about. That with him running around the city and shit. It was the original colorway, the white. Yeah, white and black. Yeah. I actually didn't own those as a kid. I owned I think my first 13 was the playoff. It was just the all black one.
Black joints.
Yeah.
Yep. And that pair stood out because the tongue was totally different from all the rest of them with the Jordan.
It's like yellow or some shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember those. Yeah.
My first pair of 13s, and still to this day, my all-time favorite pair of 13s, and we knew we was having this conversation. I would crack the closet open because I got every model of the Flint 13s that came out. And I remember waiting in line. This was, of course, after college as well. So I want to say that was 2011 or maybe 10 when they came out again, and they didn't. It wasn't reflective. I was so pissed off.
Yeah. Somebody stole mine from the frat house.
Damn, everybody's shit getting stolen, man. Everybody's shit getting stolen.
If you know about the Flint 13, the most beautiful thing about the Flint 13 is it has a 3M material on the shoe. So if you stand in a certain way, it almost makes that reflective type flash, or more importantly, if you take a picture with a flash on it, your shoes basically glow gray. And when those 13s re-released again at that time, and I think what year did you say it was, Jordan?
Like 2010.
Yeah, somewhere.
It was around Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Black Friday. I got it on Black Friday.
Facts.
And I remember being so pissed off, rushing to. I actually went to Lombard to actually get the shoes there because folks wasn't rushing too hard there, and I was so pissed off when it didn't have any 3M on it. Disgusted.
You look disgusted right now. Like you look.
Yeah, man, because that was the ultimate highlight of the shoe. But when they re-released again, Jordan, what do you know what year it was? It was just a couple of years back, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, that they re-released again, and they did justice, and they made sure they put 3M on the shoe. So I definitely copped a pair then as well.
I just remember the 2000, the one we talking about, and after that, just the most recent one, last year or 2 years. I don't remember them coming back out after that because I would have bought them.
That was the next time they came out, like 2 years ago. I don't remember what year.
Yeah. It was during the pandemic.
Yep, you are absolutely right. During the pandemic.
Yeah, I bought those.
Jay's dropping during the panorama. God damn. Would y'all say the Jordan 11s, Space Jams, Jordan 12s, Flu Games, the 13s, would y'all say this is the most popular three-peat of Jordans out of the entire collection?
The ones are strong though.
I think
that.
But if you look at it as a collection, so if you was just to look at the 11s, the 12s, and the 13s as a set, and if you was to match them up against any other consecutive, chronological order of the Jordan series, do you think that's the strongest three?
So my answer And again, I gotta keep myself honest because I try not to be biased in this old ripe age of 34.
Yes.
You really have to look at the generation that you come from because you tie back certain shoes with memories that you have of that time. So some people that are much older than us may talk about the 1, 2, 3 or the 3, 4, 5 because different people associate these shoes with different memories that they have. So to say that it's the toughest and the hardest, oh man, because when you toss that 12 in there, I'll be like, come on, man, get the hell out of the way.
That's the stepchild.
It was definitely a point in time when he was three-peating and he had come back to the Bulls and things of that nature that you can definitely point out to those three models as being like, hey, this was a big time for Michael Jordan and the Bulls and things like that. So I could hear it, but at the same time, if I don't want to be biased, you really have to look at it as a generational thing, kind of like what we talked about between the new Space Jam and the old Space Jam.
Yeah. I like that. What say you two?
I would say the 11, 12, and 13, that's pretty strong because 11s they're real strong. So they kind of like can overpower like the 2s and the 3s almost. Because like I said, the 1s are so universal that you can wear 1s or anything. You know, people wear them at weddings. You can wear them anywhere. But like Corey said, the 12s kind of just bring it down just a little bit, but the 13s kind of raise it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And like you said, like a generation. So probably my age group would probably go 11, 12, 13s. Like maybe like my stepfather, somebody here probably say the 1s, 2s, and 3s.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if I had to pick, I'd probably go 11, 12, 13. Because I think the 11s and the 13s stay real solid in the whole collection.
Yeah, so like the 11s and 13s, they kind of like the Splash Brothers, you feel me? And the 12 is like Draymond Green.
Yeah, perfect.
The big three twins, we can call them the big three.
The big three, you know. So like, okay, yeah. So these are the big three of our generation as it pertains to Jordans. Would y'all agree with that?
I could, because I like how you say our generation. And
yeah, I can see that.
Ask this question to Jordan and Greg. Anything after the 13, some you could toss the 14 in there just because he wore it for a period of time. Do we even look at anything after the 13/14 as like being like, hey man, we got these mics?
No,
nah,
not at all.
I remember I had which Jordan was it? I like the Jordan with the magnetic gator on. I had those because it was just a cool. Eddie Jones wore it.
17.
17, yeah.
Yep, I got a pair of those. I thought I brought them up here with me, but yeah, I got a pair. Actually, rock with the black and red 17s. Tough
of course, I remember the one. Yeah, the ones you can remove the entire gator.
Yep.
Look like a motherfucking spat over your shoe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What?
And it came with a briefcase.
No, these didn't come with a briefcase.
I know which ones you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember the commercial, but it was he just walked in the gym and he put his shit down and he laced them up and everybody at the gym was just looking at him like, what the fuck are those?
What the fuck is that?
I think it was I believe a 15, I believe.
I'm coming right back.
Hey, a lot of them Jordans after the 14s was hideous though.
It was all downhill after the to me after the 13s. I didn't really pay much attention to them. Yeah. I do remember the ones with the suitcase though, but after that it just I started paying attention.
Yeah.
I mean, he wore some of them, but it didn't hit like that no more.
Maybe
6.
Mm-hmm.
And shoot,
it was a Jordan 16.
A Jordan 16?
Jordan 16. Because I think Mos Def did a commercial for it.
What the hell?
I'm positive, yeah.
This is what I was talking about, Jordan.
Nah. That's like
17.
What is that? What is that? A 17 and a half or some shit?
That's the 17. No, it's just straight 17.
Okay, because they did a half.
Anytime we talk about the half, those are the Mellows or AKA Mexican Jordans. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
What's that? What number is that?
16.
The Dracula Jordans.
Jordans. Yep. I know exactly. As soon as you showed it to me, Yeah, you can take that whole your dig off.
Yeah.
That shit wow. So like
I actually bought a couple of pair later model Jordans. I remember being at Western getting some like 21s, and you basically could change the AirPods out inside, and came in a gigantic box like this damn big. They started trying to come out with gimmicks to actually get people to continue to buy the shoe.
Oh yeah.
So like let me ask y'all this. Outside of the fact that capitalism is real, obviously, do y'all think this is why they continue to re-release new versions of all of the Jordans, you know, from 13 on earlier, because everything out there is ass?
I also think it's like nostalgia purposes. So I'm pretty sure once we get further down the road, they'll begin to bring out some of those later models as well. But it's all about what's going to sell and what's going to move units off the shelves. And considering that a lot of our influences come from the time before us, people are going to keep on tying back to these shoes that their parents or older cousins, uncles, and things like that speak so highly of. And people ain't speaking so highly of 14s and later. And 14s even had a couple of re-releases. And I feel like again, that's because Jordan had his foot in them, but no one really cared about the 14.
I never owned a pair of 14s in my life.
I believe it. I known two people that owned a pair of 15. And the 15 is the ugliest Jordan to me ever.
Ever?
That's like with the crazy vagina looking tongue, right?
Yes.
The vagina tongue. Oh.
Yeah. Like clitoris is coming off your ankle.
Oh, clitoris coming off the ankle.
No BS.
It's a cold world.
They said it was designed after like a fighter pilot plane or some shit.
F-15 or F-16 or some shit like that.
That shit sounds terrible. Why would you try to design a shoe after a fighter pilot?
Yep.
This is it. They look long as fuck too.
The Ferrari. Yeah, there you go.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I had the blue versions of those.
You had the blue?
Greg, don't tell nobody else that shit, please.
It was ugly, but I had them.
Yep, I believe it. Like I said, I've known a few people that actually had the shoes. But again, Greg, would you agree that that's just the notion, or that's during that time, just having a Jordan on your foot was a status symbol?
That's all it was. Like if you had a pair of Jordans, you was that guy. So at that point, then you just buying Jordans just to buy them, so you can say, "Hey, I got these Jordans," even though they wasn't all that.
100%. I agree with that notion very, very much, and that's why we know when I led this conversation, I don't consider myself a sneakerhead because I only purchase something if I'm genuinely into it and I genuinely like it. Whereas it was definitely a point in time in my life where, like we just said, if Jordan had his name on it and it was a number, because let's not be real, it's only been a couple of team Jordans that's like cool to have, and your guy Jordan should bring up that first Jumpman Jordan that came out that everybody and their mama had.
Talking about the 90s, the one with the they kind of looked like the 12 a little bit.
Yeah, it looked like the 12 a little bit, and it had the bubble on the side of it.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I'm thinking about the ones the Bulls used to wear, like the Bulls.
Yeah, all of the players had them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Because it had the bubble, the 13 bubble.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool to have in the 90s.
It was.
Jordans was cool to have in the 90s, the 80s.
That was one of the few team Jordans that was actually cool to wear.
It was a team one.
Look,
yeah, it was. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, we can see it.
It was that shoe.
Yeah, we could see it. Nike, when they signed Mike, they was really they was betting the house. You feel me? Like they wasn't a big dog on the shoe scene. Adidas, because Run DMC, Converse was still hot, from all those basketball stars from the 70s. Nike really, they took their track money because Nike was a huge track shoe. You know what I'm saying?
They gave them all they had.
They gave them all they had. And it was like, look, man, we need this, my mans. And the number 3 pick for the Chicago Bulls just changed the goddamn game. Changed the shoe game.
Let's add this into it as well. not only was Nike betting the house, but they were basically begging Jordan because Jordan was trying to turn them down.
Yeah.
Jordan didn't want to be there.
He didn't.
Yeah. His mom convinced him. His parents convinced him.
Nike's whole model was let's pay people to wear our shoes, because even when you look at what made the Big East really big outside of the good basketball that was happening, Nike started contracting with those Big East coaches to actually have all those colleges wearing the dunk. Nike was like, we got to pay to get our shoes on people's feet so that everybody else will want to buy it.
Yeah, I read Shoe Dog. That's a good book.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, that was a good analysis and introduction to Jordans. You know, with the Jordan Avengers. You know what I'm saying? Jordan, Greg, Corey. Last question for all you three, just real quick. Is there any type of colorway or combination you would like to see that hasn't been released?
No.
Nah, okay.
I already got one.
Y'all already got making up no fake shit. You know how people laughing at you and shit.
Nah, I don't want no fake. Yeah, nah.
Okay.
He done kind of did them all in a way.
Oh, straight up.
Yeah, and it started getting so ridiculous. If we all can think back to, let's say, 2002, 2003, when everybody was Gucci and Louis Vuitton in shoes and Burberry.
I know where you're going with this.
All that bullshit.
Yeah, and Nice Kicks was a website with Can Kicks and all these things and all these
that shit was some straight colors. Bullshit.
And guess what Jordan started doing? Coming out with every damn color that was on the damn website.
Yeah.
It's gotten to a point where
that's a fact.
They've come out with some of the ugliest color combinations, but Twiz, as you said, is definitely a capitalist society. And it's like, we're going to make it if people going to buy it.
Yeah, of course. Shit.
The best
colorway
of Jordans to me, if we're not talking about original base colorways, because we know that original Jordans, when they first came out, really only came out in 4 or 5 different color combinations. But I've always been a fan of any gray Jordan for the most part. I love the gray ones. I don't know what it is. Gray just looks so great on a shoe.
Yeah, the 3 cement 3 is like my grail. That's my.
Look at this. What just happened
anytime
by my side?
Oh, yeah, we're gonna talk about the Jordan 3s on the next one.
Oh, and Jordan,
the 88. Which one?
This was the very first shoe that I ever paid over retail for. And my guy, Mimi Otabar, which is really good friends with Virgil, and I can show you guys the pictures and everything. I remember being a sophomore at Western. I couldn't get this shoe. I went home and I met him, and I paid $265 for this fucking shoe.
And he's talking about the gray Jordan 3s, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Jordan 3s. And a pair of Jordan 3s trying to chase this cash.
Yes. I believe when they
Shout out the whole.
They were $165. Like I said, I got the original pair in my closet. I can bring that box down. I still got them because if I paid that much for a shoe, I'm keeping it forever.
Of course.
You got that right.
Hell yeah.
Those days are long gone. God damn it.
100%.
He said, God damn it. If you enjoyed this podcast, I ask for 2 things. Number 1, leave a 5-star review. And number 2, pass it on to a friend who may enjoy it as well. And don't forget to subscribe to our other podcast, Mogul Motivation from True Stories Media.